So let's send it that way.
Text today, sending to him. Oh, you can be sick. That's my own chair. Ma'am, you're waiting for me. Forget all them mountains. Hey, what you I know.
She told me.
Oh, Lord.
She said, that's not big for a family. She said she couldn't go for it.
I like this lady. You know, we came from the same source, so she's a good person.
Yes, I know. She
But he's with the firm.
Call meeting to order, please. Rachel, can I beg you to do the invocation for us, please, ma'am, or swear them over?
We bow our head. Our Heavenly Father, we appreciate the opportunity to meet once again. Pray that your presence will be here with us. Help us to do the good for the town. In thy name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You've got the agenda before you. I need a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Todd, second from Bob. Any discussion? District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. You have the minutes from the regular council meeting. Describe one by one.
I let it know for an hour this afternoon, and it did
See if
not.
I'm right. Minutes from the regular council meeting dated June 8th, 2015. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Motion from Bob.
Second.
Second from Rachel. Any discussion? District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. We'll try to eliminate which one of these it says is making noise, folks, so bear with the chief as it goes along. Minutes from the special council meeting dated June 15th. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Rachel.
Second.
That's me. Second from Todd. That's mine. How about that? Any discussion? District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. Next regular council meeting, August 10th, 2015, right here. To take one moment of liberty here, I'd like for council and those in attendance to observe a moment of silence in recognition and remembering the victims of the massacre in Lower Manual. Thank you. Council Department Head reports, Central Midlands.
No report.
EPAC.
PAC meets once every 3 months. They've already canceled the August meeting. The next one's scheduled for October.
They're planning ahead. Joint water.
They've already would have had their June and July meeting because the way the calendar works, and both of them were canceled because no business.
All right. I'll let you catch your breath and EDC. Well, then we move on to unfinished business. Take your time.
Madam Mayor, can we go to item 7 until he's ready and maybe backtrack to wait until he gets back?
We'll be moving on to unfinished and new business, so.
What happened to item 7?
There, no one signed up,
No one signed up?
so that would move us too far into the agenda and would be, require amending the agenda. At this point, we've already voted to adopt, so. You wanna just wait and do a double report at the next meeting?
Yeah.
That suits you? Okay. Then we will move on to, have no unfinished business, new business. Todd, I believe this is on you. Your position of the planning commissioner for District 2?
Yes, I'd like to place before council the name of David Bachnight to fill my vacant position on the planning commission. Mr. Bachnight is a resident of District 2. I've asked and he has accepted pending approval of council to serve in that position.
Is that a motion?
Make that motion, yes, ma'am.
Got a motion from Todd to appoint David Bachnight to the planning commission for District 2 and a second by Charles. Any discussion?
Yes. When have we started bringing this to the council meeting about the planning commission?
They're always
Each
appointed
one-
by council.
Each council member.
You have to make the recommendation to council and council votes on that appointment.
Okay, okay. Move on.
Okay.
I have a question, just to clarify, to make sure that the fact that he is a town employee, that there is.
No, this is David Little, the second,
Okay.
not the third.
That's clarification for me. Okay.
David W. the second, I believe, is his abbreviation, where
Right.
Dave that's an employee of the town is the third.
Okay.
Any more discussion? District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes, thank you. And now, council has been asked to waive the facility rental fee for the Ministerial Association event. I believe staff has made the recommendation to waive this, and it is for, what's the date?
August 23rd, 2:00 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Wilson Street Park.
Okay.
It's a back-to-school teacher appreciation celebration.
Do I hear a motion to waive the rental fee for the facility?
Also move.
Second.
Motion from Bob, second from Rachel. Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir?
As I shared in the times prior to this one, is that if we shouldn't waive fees for anybody. It should be across the board. We have fees that you pay, which is I believe it's what, $150?
It's $150, and if you clean up, you'll get a $50 deposit.
Okay. I feel, and I've shared this before, that's a revenue that comes into the town, and I feel like we should waive those fees we are waiving for this, we're waiving for that. I think let's just say, if I wanted to have something there, I would have to pay the $150. So I think across the board, to keep from discriminating against any organization, anyone, for the town of Batesburg-Leesville, we should not waive any fees from this day forward. That's my comment.
I believe any organization that is in, to do something for the good of the town, where they're not profiting from it, should be allowed to use any town facility within reason without charge. So I see it different. If we're opening up to individuals, this is something for the children of the town, and I certainly don't think they're into it they're not charging anything from those that are attending. What they're doing is free, and therefore I don't think that the town should charge them.
Well, I respect what you're saying. However, if we're going to do fees, if we're going to waive the fees, let's do away with fees completely, and just check with the town. And whenever someone wants to use something for a good cause, then they don't pay the fees, and we'll just go like that instead of we'll just weigh in fees for certain groups, certain organizations. Don't get me wrong. The program that they want to waive fees for, I absolutely agree with you. I think it's a great thing. But those are two separate issues. Being a great thing, and we have waiver fees that we use to make money for the town. And I'm saying if we're going to waive fees, waive it for everyone. We can do away with that. And that will not be counted in the budget at anywhere. That's just money we won't make anymore. So that's what I'm saying. And I agree with you totally that it's a great program. However, I don't think the fees should be waived. You got to remember, they plan, they know, they need to check with the town manager, find out what is the fee. Go back to their organization, let them make the decision whether they're going to pay the money, how they're going to get the $150. That's none of my business. That's not in the council business either. But let them pay their $150, and we'll just move on. Surely I think I'll be outvoted, but that's the way I see it.
Any further discussion? District 1.
District 1, again, the motion is to allow it.
Yes.
District 1, yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 4? District 5?
Yes?
District 6?
No.
District 7?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you. And Ted, I'm gonna let you take this for a moment. Approval to liquidate BB&T infrastructure CD.
Okay, in 2001, when Owen Gambrell was town manager of the town, he invested $50,000 from the town's general fund account to go into an infrastructure CD at BB&T. Over the past 14 years, it's drawn about $4,513.92 in interest, and the current balance is $54,513.92. In purchasing the new town hall, wanting to make renovations and improvements, and do many of the things that we want to do in that facility, we're asking council to liquidate this CD and allow us to use that money towards renovations and the things that we want to do inside.
Now qualify where this came from, like you did for me just a little bit ago.
It did come out of general funds, which were deposited into the CD. So some concerns were stated about the use of those funds had to be towards potentially water and sewer projects. They could not be used towards water and sewer projects because it came from the general fund, not the DPW side. So just to clarify that.
Do I hear a motion from council?
I make a motion that we is there any questions or anything?
Go ahead, make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and liquidate that CD.
Motion from Kathy, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bob, do we have discussion?
Got some concern about liquidating the CD. My understanding is the CD was originally purchased as something to accommodate a rainy day fund in an emergency situation. I don't know that this rises to the level of an emergency situation. If there's a way that we can move forward with covering the costs of Newtown Hall, I'd like to see us utilize those other resources instead of using an infrastructure CD that wasn't set aside for something like that. I don't know whether Town Manager Lepidou has any other solutions that we could pull from to accommodate that.
There's certainly other options that do exist. As a part of the manager's update that I was going to give tonight, at this time it does appear that we are going to be looking at around a $50,000 surplus net gain in the general fund from last budget when you look at revenue versus expenditures. Not prepared at this time to ask council until we've had an opportunity to pay all of the June invoices in the month of July, and we have a better understanding of exactly what our net gain was for the year. But certainly we could come back in August and be a lot more confident in what our net gain was for the year, and we can use those funds as well. One of the things we talked about when we were talking about town hall was utilizing up to $50,000 in the town checking account, which we have built up a fairly large surplus in that account over time. I think at this point we have roughly about 4 months worth of payments we could make, something along those lines, built up in that account. If we wanted to utilize some of those, we could as well.
Can you give us a definition of infrastructure? That's the term I think is confusing to me when they used a infrastructure CD. What is the definition of
Infrastructure could be a town facility, a building. When you talk about the DPW side, any water sewer lines that are in the ground, lift stations, pump stations, those are classified. Any elevated storage water tank is classified as infrastructure for the town. You know, a vehicle would not be classified as infrastructure, but if it is a building of any sort, then
So technically, infrastructure could be upfit
it would be improvements
to a building?
to a building would be infrastructure. You'd be utilizing those funds towards improvement to infrastructure.
Okay, question. The CD for $50,000 has been sitting there, EBT, for 14 years. Only got an interest of $4,000 and some odd dollars. What is our other options? We still probably need to liquidate that, but if they don't want, and if the other council members don't want to spend it on the new facility, but we still need to move that money to something that grows much higher interest than that.
On average, it was gaining only about 44 cents a month in that account, which is not good.
No, it is definitely not good.
$4,000 over 14 years is
No.
not good returns. Something that we've been discussing, but it's for a later term, is the state has what's called a local government investment pool, and that's something that we're preparing at this time to come to council about the possibility to invest some of the town funds into that. Not really prepared to get into all the details of that tonight, as we're still working to build that for you guys, but that is another very valuable option that offers a lot higher rate of return, that the state will allow you to use that as an investment tool for town funds.
Will there be a tax penalty for liquidating that? Just getting the money out?
There will be no penalty.
Okay.
You have a question? Mr. Jones?
Take this.
What were these funds allocated for when they were, before they were placed into the CD?
There was no application
It was
intended
just
for these.
overage from the general fund?
I think it was interest income
At that time, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it was excess funds that the town manager at the time had just said, we'll throw it into a CD. And it may have been intended for,
I may be able to help clarify, because I spoke to Mr. Gambrell earlier today, what the intent was for moving that money aside in 2001. It was for water and sewer. That was his intention in 2001.
Excuse me, Todd, but Mr. Gambriel is not here. It's coming from a hearsay, so we need to just leave that alone. Do we have it in writing?
Whoa.
No, I'm not attacking, I'm asking. Please observe. I don't do the attacking there. I am asking, do we have something in writing that stated that he was taking that CD and putting it in there for that particular mission only? Do we have anything in writing, per se? I mean, do we?
Do you recall anything to the time?
I don't recall it now, I have to go back and look.
I think Councilman Odell was simply trying to give an answer to the question that was asked, and I appreciate that. Why haven't council been made aware of these funds over the past 15 years?
He can't answer for that, he just come here.
That's the question.
We had no idea that we had a CD at BB&T for $50,000 or $54,000.
nah, I can't answer for why council was never made aware of the CD.
You see, that shouldn't be. If the town has funds sitting somewhere, council should be aware of those funds.
Is it not accounted for in the budget?
No.
Really?
So we have funds outside of the budget, just sitting around doing nothing pretty much?
We have a savings account, we have a town checking account, we have a town savings account, we have the infrastructure CD, we have the DPW checking account, we have the reserve fund, we have the impact fee, bank account that houses those funds.
Those are not budgeted items?
Yeah, we have the fire department 1% fund, which is something that we as a town cannot control those funds.
May I say that I don't think those are budgeted because they're not expense income funds, but I do believe they are in the audit. In our annual audit, those funds are mentioned in there in some place.
And the budget, they have to reflect as a revenue, but those aren't revenue.
That's right, they're not revenue, they're not an expense. But in the audit, they're listed as cash on hand or some equivalent term to that.
Well, and I will say, on December 8th, when we met about the town hall and discussed that, as a part of that presentation, the infrastructure CD was discussed in that meeting and the use of those funds potentially on the new town hall. We did discuss it at that time.
And the reason I ask these questions are because from time to time, there are projects and items that need to be taken care of, and council is told that there are no funds available. And no mention of any funds set aside anywhere is made known to council. Are there any other funds sitting around we don't know about?
The recent funds that we've come to you guys about were water and sewer projects that needed to be handled, and our understanding being that the funds were from the general fund deposited for the infrastructure CD, that they couldn't be used for water and sewer because that would be crossing funds, which is not allowed. So we've never recommended those funds for that use. That's why we've talked about it spending from the reserve account.
Madam Mayor?
As an example, in District 4, we have roads in District 4. When it rains, it floods the yards and the basements for people who have a basement in their homes and whatnot, and which is infrastructure accountability. And we're told that there are no funds to address those issues and that type of thing.
I can tell you, we have flooding issues throughout the entire town that, quite frankly, we don't, the state doesn't have the money, and we don't have the kind of money that's needed to repair storm drainage problems and flooding problems that exist in our roadways.
But I mean, when the storm drain is stopped up so the water can't flow out the drain, that's not a major problem.
That would be DOT, us getting DOT to come in and clean that storm drain out. That would not require any use of town funds.
Ms. Kathy, you had something?
Yes. I make a motion.
We already got a motion.
We have a motion on the table?
You made the motion to liquidate the CD.
Yeah, I did. And we're still talking
We're
about
still
it.
talking about that.
So I'm thinking about rescinding that.
I got one question for Ms. Judy, if you don't
Okay.
mind. Any way to research where these funds came from for this CD?
I can go back and look in my folders.
If we've got Mr. Gambrell saying it came from DPW side, but then the general thought now is it's from general fund. It did not?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then that answers my question. That's all I wanted to make sure of, is that we don't have something cross-threaded
No,
there.
ma'am.
Now, Ms. Kathy, what would you, what
No,
was
I'm
your
gonna
pleasure?
ask you now your thoughts on that, since we're having discussion, so since it did not, the money can be used that way. So what, are we thinking that what are we gonna do with the CD then?
I think we should vote on it,
Vote on,
on the motion that's on the table.
Are you
okay.
calling for the question?
I am.
All right, got a call for the question. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
No.
District 4. This is to liquidate the CD,
For what purpose?
put it into the town hall,
Into the general fund.
into the new town hall.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes?
District 7,
No.
District, he's not here, and I vote no, so it passes. It's liquidated. Approval of contractors for construction activities at the new town hall.
Hang on a second.
All right.
You got my packet a little out of order. I got it back. All right. In April, obviously, we purchased the new town hall. In May, we put out requests for proposals through the state procurement website, the town's website, and the Twin City News, seeking bids for some demolition and remodeling of some walls, installation of new carpet, and tile painting of walls and trim work, and the construction of a council stand inside the new town hall. We did have a pre-bid conference that was held in June, and then seal bids were received back on June 16th. We did have a public opening of those bids. There was no members of the public present at the time of opening those. We reviewed each one of those for the scope of work, what was the experience of contractors, their cost, the capacity to complete the work on time, and their time frame and ability to start the project. In that, we received a remodeling, which is the tearing down of walls, the addition of a couple windows, and doing some sheetrock repair. From Ridge Custom Homes was the lowest bidder at $6,250. So we recommend Ridge Custom Homes be awarded that. For flooring, Floorco Incorporated, out of Columbia, was the lowest bidder for the carpet and VCT tile at $18,400, and we recommend them as well. Painting, Port Painting, which is out of Lexington area, was not the lowest bidder. However, they were only $300 above the lowest bidder at $17,550. The reason we selected them at $300 higher was that they provided their proof of workers' comp, proof of insurances, proof of bonding. They provided a much more detailed scope of work, and that we know exactly what they're going to do. They left no questions, so we do recommend them. And then for the construction of the council stand, Heritage Construction which is right here in this area, was the lowest bidder at $7,964 for a total cost to renovate the town hall in those areas of $50,164. And so we also provided you a list of all the companies that did bid on this project. So staff recommends the ones that I just mentioned at those prices to councils.
Motion. Do I hear a motion to accept staff's recommendation?
I make a motion that we accept the town's recommendations.
I second.
Motion from Rachel, second from Kathy. Discussion now.
Yes.
Todd had asked first, please, ma'am.
Oh, go ahead.
Time's of the essence from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, what you're telling us. Was any thought given to selecting one of the vendors that actually can do more than just one facet? I'm looking at Chastain, for example. They can do the remodel, carpet, and the painting, $4,400, $44,734. And the floors, the stand, council stand on top of that. When you add those two together, you're about $2,500 more than what we're looking at here. But we want to move quickly. Does it make sense from an efficiency standpoint to have one person, one company responsible for those things?
We did look at that, and we did consider that. What we did do is we bid those individual jobs separately. So we did, to begin with, look at each one of them separately to see where their carpet prices matched up versus their painting prices. And we did try to piece this together. Now, we gave an expected time frame of what we want to occur to have this completed on the time schedule. Obviously, the lowest bidders are able to meet that time frame. So an attempt to get the most minimal cost but still have the time met, we were still able to meet exactly what we were intending to meet as far as the timeline by going with the individual. We did consider it, we did look at it, but it was a little bit more, and we gave consideration to that, and they couldn't do it any faster than what we were able to do by hiring individual companies. So we offered this recommendation.
Kathy? A question?
Well, I really went blank there, didn't I? Question, I sure did. Excuse me to the public. But yes, I do have a question. Did we have any local people to put in bids for the jobs?
Let's see, Rich Custom Homes, which they were awarded, Heritage Construction, which they were awarded, and we did have painting contractor that put in that was local that ultimately was not awarded. He was the lowest bidder, and the paint company that we chose was $300 more than he was. But in talking with him, he really is a one-person operation, and felt like the timeline that we had was going to be a little bit more stringent than what he could handle. And he did express concern that he didn't feel like he could meet the timeline that we needed to get that done.
Thank you.
Any further? Yes.
One more question.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in here concerning rewiring for a computer network or video surveillance. Is that going to be on top of the $50,164? How are we going to cover that? Is that a concern?
Well, currently, we have a hired IT consultant for the town that we are going to purchase the equipment that we need as a town. We would purchase, like we purchased a wireless router the other day. As far as plugging it in, most of the Ethernet cables are already run inside that building. It was pre-run, and everything leads back to a switch panel already. A lot of stuff is just plugging up and attaching the devices. And our IT consultant has generally performed all those services for us in the past.
What about the furniture? We have an idea how much furniture is gonna be?
Furniture, we are still talking and looking at vendors at this time, seeing who we can get the best deal from. That may be something in August that we come back. We've been back and forth evaluating what can be kept, what needs to be replaced. So we really haven't finalized what we want to do in that regard at this point. But that may be something in August we can go back to council about.
In all of our discussions, the one thing that I haven't heard, and I guess hasn't come to mind, is has the town attorney looked over these contracts?
No, he has not.
He has not? Good.
So, none of this has been looked at by an attorney?
No, sir.
There's no contract?
It really was bids and scope of work. There's not a formal contract. Basically, I guess what we're saying is we're awarding the job to them based on what they bid, but there's no formal multi-page contract that exists at this time that we,
They're all bonded, right?
they're all bonded.
And we can ask of our town attorney that's here tonight, is that typical? I know when I was in construction that was not typical to run the awards through the attorney.
For the state it is.
Oh, well, okay.
If you get over a certain dollar value, it goes through the state contract system, it goes through the attorneys.
Okay.
We'll do what we're told. If y'all ask us to review the contract, we certainly will. And we can give you a legal opinion. If for whatever reason y'all feel that it's not necessary to have an attorney review, that's certainly within your prerogative. But if the contracts are sent to us, we will review and prepare an opinion for you if you'd like us to.
If they're bonded, aren't they typically, isn't that something that is a security for us as?
Well, it's, potentially, I mean, we'd have to know exactly who this person, I mean, there's a whole lot of variables that can go into that. So, and also you want to look at their licensure and make sure they're still up to date and all that. I mean, otherwise, there's all sorts of exposure you have, but yes, you would very much like them to be bonded.
Well, and we're requiring them to share proof of insurance, proof of bond, proof of workers' comp, and honestly, without you guys awarding the contract, we would have to provide him with individual contracts from every one of these companies to review, because we don't have contracts to know who to give to him, because nobody's been awarded at this point. Now, if we want to award these companies, but have stuff reviewed, and if something doesn't work out, we have to come back in that regards. But we just did not provide him with 10 separate contracts when we're trying to award 4 companies.
Any further discussion?
So, I'm agreeing with you, Taylor, on this. With bonding, we are bonded. In the beginning, when we approved this money, we asked you to, I don't recall us telling you, before you award any contracts, we want you to get contracts. Because I don't recall us doing that. But if that's what you feel like we need to do now, where's the attorney right there?
I think historically, and I'll say it from this perspective, if the work has been over X amount of dollars, whether it's $5,000 or $10,000, there's been a contract that's been developed by the attorney, between the attorney and whoever the other party is for whatever work is being done.
Oh, you're going back into the, to our rules and regulations.
I don't know if it's in
It's
rules
in
and
there
regulations or
because it's
policy, but I just know that that's just been the historical practice to cover the town and cover the people that are doing the work, that there's a contract.
There is something in the laws, bylaws, that we do over a set amount. But we
That's
gave
purchasing.
Yeah, but we gave them, that's the spending, there's another place other than purchasing.
But that's all in
I don't have
procurement,
the
is what
book.
you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, but,
If y'all would prefer us to just table this, table it and get contracts from all 10 contractors and
Again, I call for the question.
send it through the attorney.
All right, we've had a call for the question. District 1,
District one votes yes.
District 2,
I'm gonna go yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes?
District 7. I'm gonna vote no because I'm a contract fool, I'm sorry. But we're all entitled to opinions. Now, approval for the contract for the McKay Public Affairs.
Okay, as y'all will recall, in this year's budget, we passed funds to retain a public relations firm to assist us in writing press releases, getting the positive things that we have going on in this town out there, for the public. And we did begin doing a little bit of work, just seeing what kind of services could be offered, and we saw a huge spike in the amount of positive stuff that was getting put out. We started getting a lot more from Columbia Daily, which I think is represented here tonight, as well as more of the things that we wanted to inform the public about with regards to sewer backups, the bulk change that was made, being able to get these things out. These were things that we previously had a difficult time squeezing in the right press releases about everything. As well, you know, the firm was successful in helping us during the week of the Poultry Festival to get a on-camera, in-studio interview in the office to promote the Poultry Festival. They utilized their media contacts. And obviously, we just really want to share all the good things that we have going on as a town, and we feel like to most adequately do this, we'll let someone who's well connected with the media and has those relationships and has the focused time and energy to put into this to do this for us. As a part of the negotiated contract that we work with them on, fortunately, we were able to get it at a lesser price than what they generally give, and as well, we received many of the services that are among some of the highest levels that they give. So we've got higher level services for a reduced price than what they offer generally to others. So,
Do I hear a motion to approve the contract for McKay Public Affairs?
So moved.
Motion from Bob,
Second.
second from Rachel. Discussion?
Yes.
Aye.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Number one, I feel like that this town, that we're spending too much money as it is. We on infrastructure, we got the water plant, we got, as Councilman Simpkins says, and we got streets and stuff needs to be repaired. We're just constantly spending our money. PR, yes, I know what a PR does. I understand their meaning, if you want to question that. However, at this time, we have a town manager and we have an assistant manager. If we need some PR, then that assistant manager, I would say the assistant manager, if the manager's too busy, we got an assistant manager, let him get out there and lead those wishes and make sure we put out that positive energy about us. Just as the negative, which was a council member issue, I think now we need to move forward. And I think you all can put that information out there, and we got things going on, we can put it out there without coming up with thousands and thousands of dollars out of the taxpayer's pocket.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to say that I have seen some positive benefits over the last few months when they gave us the trial. And I'm willing to give them a year because we need an image makeover.
Well, we were the problem, we're not the town. Council was the problem.
Well,
So
no.
we need to change our image, and if they come out here, we can invite WLTX, WIS, any other TV station, and we can show them that we have moved on. And I think Rita makes.
Excuse me, ma'am, I was still talking.
Oh, Bob, why didn't you stop me?
No, I thought you'd be short. Well,
Rita does real good work.
Well, anyway, I was
Okay.
gonna say that, yes, we need an image improvement, and it's not just the council. I mean, I heard people think that Lexington County ended at Lexington High School. They forget about us. We need to get some positive things out there about other things besides what happens in this town. And I have seen some of those things that look good so far. I hope they continue, and they weren't just trying to pimp us for the first few months for the bid. We'll find out, and I'm willing to give them 1 year and find out.
No, I'm totally against it. I say let's hold off on taking more taxpayers' dollars, spending it on a PR. Rita has done an excellent job. I don't know if you all noticed that. But when she speaks elegant. I think Tad has done a wonderful job doing things, moving the town. We're moving slow, Tad. That's coming up. But I think our staff that we have right now, and with the maybe the technology that we have, we can enhance that and move forward. But do not spend any more taxpayer dollars on that. On that. Maybe a year or two when we move forward and we're looking even better, we can invite y'all to come on down. Okay.
Any other discussion?
Just a comment and a question. I think it's a good thing to continue to put our best foot forward all across Memphis. I think it's a great idea to have a PR firm assisting us with that. My concern is I don't recall ever approving $1,600 a month to pay for them during the trial period. I appreciate the fact that we have it now to take a look at it and have an opportunity to vote on it. I don't recall $1,600 a month being looked at previously. Did it slip by me? Did anybody else have any?
No, I agree with you. I didn't know we had a PR. So I really didn't know.
I do.
Well, I'm glad you knew because I didn't tell. I didn't know, and $1,600. So I know. I think we tried to follow them out.
My concern is the cost. When it was introduced to council that we would do a trial basis for about $1,600 a month, a little over $19,000. But now the contract that they're offering us is beginning at $24,000 plus expenses up to $43,000, I believe.
Okay, now nobody said that.
No, that's not.
No,
$3,600 a month.
no,
which
no,
is-
no,
Wait a minute, let me finish.
Okay.
I read the contract. Okay. And their fee is from $2,000 to $3,650 a month, depending on the extent of the services you want them to provide. Am I right or wrong?
It says, expense, the client will reimburse consultant for out-of-pocket expense approved in advance by client. An example of such expenses to be agreed to in advance are mileage and printing costs if applicable.
Right. With
Excuse me.
additional expenses above the monthly fee. Is that correct? If they're working on a project for us and they come to us and say, look, we need this amount of expense money in order to complete this project, we're not gonna say, well, just drop the project. We're gonna provide the funds needed for them to complete the project.
Yeah, but that would be something they would have to do, and we would have to approve in advance if we were going to expend.
This is what I'm saying. But the cost, what are their monthly fees?
Typically, their fees are $2,500, $2,850, and $3,600.
$3,600
And
times.
that's if you selected to go with that range, but like I said, we negotiated, their bottom line general standard rates are $2,500 a month.
Right.
They have offered us $2,000 a month, but they have offered to provide many of the services. They generally offer at their $3,600 and $2,850 a month rates at the $2,000, which is less than what they generally provide on their lowest end.
Isn't there a 60-day cancellation
There is.
in the contract?
There is.
Should council become dissatisfied?
That's right.
or-
There is.
or
This is a
town?
one-year contract, and there is,
It's a
the
written
agreement is
60-day?
cancelable with a 60-day written notice by either party. And this contract would be slated to end on June 30th, 2016.
Which is 13 months. June 1 to June 30.
Well, my problem is it's dated June 1. So we already paying them at $2,000 a
That would
month.
be, no, we have not paid them
So
2,000 as a
it
part
would
of
be,
this.
it would be based on the fiscal year.
That would be a typo, it would be July 1.
Okay.
Now get that.
So my concern is, once they get in the door, they've already told you that their fees range from $2,400 to $3,600. It's gonna go up every year.
And
You mean on contract renewal?
right, and if they start to go up, and if they wanna go up, council has the right, because this contract ends June 30th, we do not have to renew. And does not renew automatically.
But when you talk about public relations, it's an ongoing thing. You can work for 1 year making progress, that doesn't mean you're getting to the goal. And if you don't renew the contract, you wasted that year, or 2 years, or 3 years. If you don't complete the cycle to reach the goal.
Not necessarily, a lot of benefit can come from 1 year worth of hard work.
But possibly.
And at the end of this year, if they say they wanna go up and council and staff doesn't feel like we've received the value benefit, we don't have to do this again next year. We do not.
Well, you said it was a 1-year contract. But
Ted, can
the
you
thing is,
highlight some
it
of
was
the-
sold to council as a $19,000 a year deal. Now it's all of a sudden 24,000 just 3 months later. Plus expenses, which we have no idea what those expenses would be.
I can tell you, I don't pursue, they have no need to be back and forth to Batesburg-Leesville on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, necessarily. A lot of PR work can be done from an office. We need press releases done for this and that. Most of that's gonna be done by email, back and forth, given the information that needs to be given. They don't have to come here to pick up information to go back to Columbia and type a press release or to do that.
And a lot of the work that you have outlined in your recommendation or your notes is provided by the municipal association already. Such as the lobbyists, information, the bills that are introduced in the House, those type of
I can
things.
give you a more specific idea, but like a piece of legislation was brought up and introduced by some of our local delegates regarding the rock quarry. And not having blasting operations done within a certain distance from residential subdivision neighborhoods. That's not something the municipal association would advocate specifically for Batesburg-Leesville for. The municipal association is going to advocate for any potential negative impact on business licensing. We've got indigent services going on right now. The roads built with them wanting to pass down 21,000 miles worth of roadways from the state and give them up to local control. That's the kind of things the municipal association would get involved with. The things that could be specific to us that we would like to get passed, that's where they could get in there. And the fact that they know all of those elected officials, they're at the State House on a daily and weekly basis while they're in session, they can help to push these pieces of legislation like the quarry one to try and positively impact us, where no one else would be pushing for that on our behalf.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they not involved in the social media aspect?
They are, they're assisting they'll assist with the management of our website, making sure all the information's up to date on that, social media,
They're already
Facebook
running a
posts.
Facebook page, are they not?
Right, they're doing the Facebook page, the Twitter, started a Twitter account, management of the YouTube account. I guess that's all the social media we have for this time.
Now, who reads the Twitter and the Facebook? Are they they're gonna read it and report back to us on a daily basis?
No, they post it out to the town's page on the town's behalf.
Okay. How have we been getting the information out to the public? Obviously, the public is very aware of anything and everything that's been taking place in Batesburg-Leesville. I think you've done an awesome
Well,
job.
I think you had it prior to turning it over.
I did, and I
And
think
then
I had
I
four,
think
I think I had 4 posts over a 4 or 5 month time period, and that wasn't because I didn't intend to post it, it was just literally having the time to get on Facebook and post information and follow what the comments are and to get on and do all of that, whereas I think we've had 20-something posts in the past couple of months, and we've reached thousands of people through all of those posts.
Call for the question.
We got a call for the questions. District 1,
District 1 votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
No.
District 7,
No.
and I vote yes. Understanding this is a one-year contract with a 30 to 60-day out. Approval of additional funds for the liquid lime chemical feed system project.
All right, and I've got Mr. Shumpert here, if there's any specific questions related to this project, he's here, but I'll give a quick overview. In a regular council meeting, April 13th, you guys will remember that you approved up to $50,000 for repairs to the grip chamber as well as the centrifuge. That came in under budget of about $22,863.10. So that's kind of reporting on that project. Well, I'll take it back. The total under budget was $31,063.10. Then at the May meeting, you guys approved $243,500 to go towards a new liquid lime chemical feed system in the wastewater treatment plant. We purchased the equipment and we put the concrete slab and the electrical work and the actual installation of that equipment out for bid, and it came back $15,000 over, total cost over what we had presented to you guys at $243,500. I will say this, in a change to the white paper that we learned of this afternoon, where we were asking for the $15,000 to come, the lowest bidder and company, we've gone back and spoke with them. The increase specifically was related to a power surge electrical component of it. The company was able to scale back that electrical surge a little bit, saving $5,700 on that $15,000. So really $9,300 is what's needed at this time. And what we're asking council to do is from the $31,000 plus that we saved on the grip chamber and centrifuge project, if you would allow us to use, I guess, $9,300 of that at this point towards the overage in the liquid lime chemical feed system. Tim, anything you want to add to it? Any questions?
Go ahead, Rachel.
I have a question for Mr. Shumpert, in that why the big disparity in what was originally thought that it was going to cost and what it ended up costing?
Oh, the liquid lime system?
No, the,
The grip chamber?
yes.
Actually, we found a local guy here to fabricate pieces of parts for our grip chamber. So we didn't have to buy those from the manufacturer, we were able to save money there. And when we got to the electrical work on the centrifuge itself, we found a contractor out of Georgia who specialized in that kind of work. He came in, he was able to do what he needed to do in about a day's time. And so we saved substantial money there.
Thank you.
So that's what the savings came from.
The one question I want to ask you before we put a motion on the table and attach dollar value to it is, there's a reduction in surge protection, is that what I'm hearing?
Well, we were looking at the entire plan as a whole, trying to make these improvements modular to the entire site. And we were providing some electrical duct bank work out there. And what we were trying to install at the time was a continuous loop transient surge reduction piece of equipment and wiring and infrastructure. And we went over a little bit, we went back, and go just like a tri-fold grounding rod system right now, just to isolate this piece of equipment, protect it from transients. And then if and when we expand down there and do other work, larger projects, we can still go back and put that surge transient circular loop in. It's just going to be quite so noticeable. So, but we're still going to be protected.
Okay, I have a question. Are you through?
Are we better served by cutting it back now, or if we've got the surplus now from the other work, to go ahead and do what you initially thought?
I think we're fine with the grounding system that we propose now with the savings.
Okay.
Simply because most of that money on this new piece of equipment was especially contracted. That was sort of new in the industry business. And we had to have the electrical subcontractor had to sub it out to somebody who was licensed to do this work.
All right.
So-
I just don't want to shortchange.
So it wasn't so much equipment, mostly labor. No, it won't, we'll be fine.
Go ahead, Ms. Kathy.
Okay, Tim, to my understanding, because of the big savings that you had, that we made, if this isn't gonna cost the town any more money, you're just gonna take the money from what we've saved and use it for lime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
About $9,300. Yeah, for what we are saying.
Okay, so about $9,300, but you're asking for $15,000, so you're asking us for more money, the town?
Well,
No.
we specifically,
No.
when we specifically asked for the funds for the line feed system, I think we capped that at 243. Bids came in at about 255, what was it, 265? Anyway, $8,065 for the contractor to do the site civil work, and $179,500 for the equipment. So technically, the whole job was over a little bit, but we were just asking for the council to amend that cap so we can go ahead and proceed with the project.
Okay, and there's no more cost to the town?
Right.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion?
One other question. Tim, on this $33,000 savings, which the town allocated to up to $50,000, were these options that saved the money were not explored before you came to council?
Well, I didn't know the contractor in Georgia existed, to be honest with you. And when we started finding pieces of parts, the contractor that we hired to do the labor to the rip chamber, he actually volunteered to do this work in-house. So we didn't solicit it, no, it just sort of came to us once we got into the project. Because it wasn't, those weren't bid items, those were sort of subbed out to maintenance and technicians. And when this guy came up and offered to do what he needed to do, we just subbed it to him because the savings were.
Okay.
Motion allocate up to $10,000
For the liquid lime chemical feed system project.
for the liquid line to the system project.
There's some clarification, we have requested 50.
Right. Well, it's reassigning the funds. is what it
It's
is.
reassigning funds. You're making a motion to reassign the funds, is that what you do?
10,000.
No, it's 15,000. But they're gonna reassign money.
They said they wanted about 9,300 of the money, of the 31,000 that's left over, so.
So it's what?
Reassign up to 10,000 of that 31,000 that's left over.
We would be comfortable with that based on the revised bid that he gave today, this afternoon, which is a hard number. So 10,000 would be asked.
Figures 10,000, about
Okay.
10,000.
I second that motion.
Judy, you got that?
Yes, ma'am.
Got a motion from Charles, and a second from Kathy, reassignment of up to $10,000 for the funds for the liquid lime chemical feed system project. Any more discussion? District 1,
District one votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. First reading on an ordinance to annex 166 acres along Summerlin Avenue into the town limits, Lexington County Tax Map Number 005900-08-001, and Saluda County Tax Map Number 184-00-00-019.
Motion to approve.
Motion from Charles, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Bob, any discussion? District 1,
District one votes yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Mr. Carson. Manager's report.
Okay, as I stated earlier, we kind of been working on doing a little pre-audit to see where both the DPW and the general fund, financially stood throughout the last budget year. As of this morning, the general fund was at $68,273.09, net gain for the year. But again, we will continue to receive some invoices and that number will come down some. The DPW fund, as of this morning, was looking at a $49,563.63 net gain for the year as well, last budget. But again, we will in August have a better picture of net gain or net loss and what those final numbers are. Quick update to the E911. We did meet with county officials on June 22nd regarding have we reached final decisions as to which direction we wanted to go with 911 dispatch. The town indicated that we are intending to pursue the transfer option, which means that all 911 calls would go to Lexington County, whereas right now the 911 calls come into our dispatch. If 911 calls come into our dispatch right now and it's EMS related or fire related, we transfer it to the county. However, in the future, they would go to the county, and if they're police related, they would come back to us. This does mean that we would still retain our dispatch center and all the dispatchers on a 24/7 basis who can still handle the walk-up traffic and anybody that needs to come in and make reports. The transfer option would take effect July 1 of 2016. And over the next few months, there's going to be some procedural and policy talks with regards to transferring to ensure that any of our concerns are addressed in those policies and procedures to be avoided. Quick update on the town hall drive-through. As many people have noticed, it is a little bit scarred at this point. It was hit by a garbage truck. We have roped that area off, and the drive-through cannot be used, just us being overly cautious to ensure that nothing structurally is done. We did contact All South Credit Union as a part of their renovations. When they moved in, they were intending to tear down the drive-through and to construct a new one that offers wider stalls. So they decided at this point they're just going to go ahead and tear the awning down, and then once they move in, they'll start construction of the new one. So that work should begin within about a month or so moving forward. But for the remainder of our time at Town Hall, I don't foresee, with what time frame we're looking at, I don't foresee that our drive-thru will be back up and operational. We learned the other day that Lexington County is going to be receiving about $8 million in seed funds from the state in the next couple months. We are in the process at this time of trying to identify, these funds will only be allowed to be used for resurfacing projects. They can't be used for sidewalks or streetscaping or anything along those lines, just street resurfacing. Right now, we're starting to try and identify some state roads, which can only be used on the state roads. Which roads in town are kind of the most pressing or in the worst shape that are state roads. Compiling the list, and then we're going to start trying to get some cost opinions on what those costs would be, so that we are prepared to make the request to the county for some of these funds. The old KFC, spoke with the owner of Sylvan Foods this morning. They are going to begin demolition of the old KFC in the morning. This work should be done in just a few days. But they did complete all the asbestos abatement. Carolina Wrecking Service will be in town, taking that building down. So, update on the industrial park. We did have a pre-construction meeting on July 7th. Wiley Easton, Chuck Whipple, county engineers were there at that meeting with us. The purpose was to discuss the upcoming construction activities. Wiley Easton will start this upcoming Monday, July 20th. They're specifically going to start with excavation along the backside of that property to begin excavating where the gravity sewer line is going to have to be roughly about 29 feet deep at points coming along the backside of that property towards our gravity, our sewer station that's going to be on site. So they're going to start excavating to prepare for that. Lake Murray Utilities was subcontracted by Wiley Easton to perform the install of all the water and sewer lines. They're going to be starting Monday, July 27th on installation of the water and sewer lines. Specifically, they're going to start up around Daniel Drive with the off-site wastewater going down Broad Street and under Norfolk Southern Railroad track. Once they get to the on-site, they will begin working on the gravity sewer line where Wiley Easton has performed their excavation duties. All water and sewer infrastructure should be completed around the first part of November, which is specifically what we have bonded out. The overall project, say the end of February at this time. A lot of when they finish is going to depend on the cold weather in January, which is when they're slated to begin paving the roadways. It has to be a constant 45 degrees when they're in the paving operations. So if they finish on time, or whether they finish a little bit late will be dependent upon the temperatures.
You know, I thought I recalled the county said that they would be through with all of their work by December 31st, because otherwise they would lose their bond money. So are they blowing smoke again?
As long as the process is actively moving, they're able to extend those bond terms a little bit longer. But they need to be shown.
Since they were pushing us so to hurry up, and all of a sudden,
That's right.
the donkey sat down.
Because we asked that question kind of early on when April was the intended start date, and it just kept dragging on and on. Our question was, don't the bond funds have to be spent based on what you told us? And they said, once the construction begins and it is going along, those funds can be extended. The Ridge Coalition wants to invite the council. They sent this to us to attend an informal drop-in on Tuesday, July 21st from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Leesville Baptist Church Fellowship Building on Shumpert Street in Leesville. We want you to come on out, join your friends and neighbors, and be informed of how the proposed rock quarry in the neighborhood is going to impact everybody. They will have information and light refreshments available to the public as well. Barrett's Court was paved the week of June 29th. They are still finalizing some of the shoulders of the roadway, just cleaning that up. I did shoot an email this morning to the county about getting an update on when they'll be back out to finish up the shoulders of the road. They said that they will be out within the next couple of weeks. Their crews are out doing some maintenance in some other areas right now, but within a couple of weeks, their crews will be back to finish the shoulders, to lay some new sod where there's currently dirt built up, to protect some of the mud that some of the citizens have had some complaints about the mud. But they intend to throw some sod on top of that.
Okay, let me ask you something. You almost answered my question there. You talked with the citizens that live in that area, right? And who?
Tim's had some in-depth discussion with numerous people down through there.
Okay, and they are saying that they're satisfied with the work that has been done?
Well, with the exception of the shoulder still being rough, you know, with the grassing needs to be done, there's some final grade work needs to be done as well. And there was some issues with a few driveways. We passed that information on to the county. And supposedly they were gonna go out there and meet and They were gonna try to dress some driveways up, extend the driveways. The problem being is a 30-foot right-of-way collected totally, a 22-foot wide paving section. That only leaves you 4 feet on either side of the road to extend the driveway. There was even one that was omitted that we're gonna go back and add, but they are gonna go back in and dress things up and do some road work and provide some grass for erosion control. They are not finished.
Okay, just grass, because sometimes the soil, the grass.
Well, I'm hoping they'll put down.
Okay, what about, the reason why I'm saying is because we have allowed people to come in and do so much road paving, and the citizens are so upset about it, running all in their house. We just talked about that earlier. What about the runaway and the drainage system? Have you checked it out to make sure that?
I haven't been in there during the rain event. I did talk to Mr. Bell. I think he might be here. And the water does collect. The road slopes to one side, and then there's a valley gutter on the, I guess would be the east side of that road where it runs north and south. And when it gets down there, there's a catch basin right before you get to Mr. Bell's property on the end. It actually drains back again when it goes across the country, across his property. It kind of follows a natural sweat.
So we do have some drainage problems in that job.
I have not really heard of any actual drainage problems as far as water ponding in people's houses, running people's houses today. I have not heard that, but not saying that don't exist.
When it rains, right on the right-hand side, when you come down, all the houses to be burned, all that water is coming down and running onto the property with all the mud and stuff. That's one thing.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to address this with Mr. Shumpert after the meeting, please.
Okay, I just want.
Yeah, let's get, okay, so we get those concerns addressed, please.
Okay, so they go.
Let's do talk to Mr. Shumpert,
Mr.
so
Bell,
we can do
don't
anything
believe
there.
Mr. Bell, don't believe I find.
They can do anything.
Last thing I'll say is I attached to the back of the manager's update. This was a timeline that Riley Easton put together regarding the timeline on the infrastructure and all the improvements to the industrial.
Okay. Do I hear a motion at this point that we go into executive session?
Motion to convene an executive session. Discuss legal advice, contractual matters.
All right, got a motion for executive session for legal advice, discussion of matters relating to proposed location expansion, or provision of services in the area served by a public body, and discussion, negotiation of contractual agreements. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Kathy. Discussion. District 1.
District 1 votes yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 4.
District 4 votes yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Executive session, please.
You need to stop doing something. Good.
Russ, how long have you been sitting?